Good evening. It's Friday night. Happy weekend eve, May 27th. Happy holiday weekend eve. So, I'm going to talk briefly, I hope, about a pot that just came out of the kiln today. So, it's been too long. And it occurred to me just now, thinking about this particular pot, that it's not a pot I want to say I could have made in graduate school. And by that I mean I could have probably made it, mechanically, but I mean if I brought it to a critique, I would have been laughed at. Maybe not out loud, but laughed at. In part because it's so simple and it's not about anything and it's sort of frivolous and it's symmetrical but asymmetrical in its decoration and so forth and so on. So something has gone on since then that permitted me to make this, and I'm sort of curious what that is, but I want to be more specific. Okay, so if I brought this to critique and they said, what are you working on, Larry? I said, well, I'm very happy with this. They would be like, is there a story behind why you're happy with this? Did you overcome some sort of difficulty to get to this? I mean, they love overcoming difficulties. And there are some skill things, but I think I had that skill back then. So, for instance, I'm not sure you can tell, but it doesn't have a trimmed foot ring. Okay, so I threw it basically as this, flaring cylinder, and the wall thickness down here matches the wall thickness up there without any trimming. I mean, I just, with the skill of making the walls match, so forth. So that all I had to do at the end was just rub my thumb around this and dimple this a little and sign it. It was a very quick, efficient way to do it. Clearly, it's not that much porcelain. I could have worked in porcelain in grad school. There were some periods where I did. It's more expensive. This particular porcelain, I didn't have to mix up from a recipe. I just bought it. So that's a convenience that's available now that wasn't available to me then. I'm not quite sure when I picked up the blue on white decoration. The glaze itself, that's absolutely I could have done in graduate school because I got that glaze from the studio there at the University of Iowa from Bunny McBride. It's the glaze called Eustace White. It has a great advantage in that it takes the blue well, fluxes well, but doesn't move, so these lines don't smear. They don't, the way sometimes, unless it gets too hot. Nothing fancy going on, but enough to show that there was a guiding intelligence, that this wasn't made by a drunk chimpanzee. Somebody at critique might have said, would it be more impressive if it were larger? Well, that's a classic graduate school technique, is you take some object that would otherwise be snoozeville and you make it 4 feet tall or 6 feet tall, and suddenly you're this well-muscled genius. Well, yeah, if I made one of these 4 feet tall, particularly if I then, planted a palm tree in it or something, well, that'd be kind of cool, although someone might accuse me of trying to take a work away from the Chinese. No, I mean, it's just a fun, inconsequential object that's not attempting to copy anything from any period, though it refers to things from various periods. And it's there to serve a function, Juice glass, booze, I don't care. It's good in the hand. Someone will enjoy living with this. And that was often something that got overlooked in grad school and can get overlooked in critiques at any level, particularly if you get really hyped up in trying to fit your work in the great matrix of that is international ceramic art. It's like, was it well made as an object? I mean, are there parts of it that will hurt the owner? Is it well made as an object, and will it be fun to live with? sometimes the answers are pretty simple, and often academia tries to make them more difficult. They're trying to impress themselves. They're trying to impress each other, and it's hard to use lightheartedness to impress somebody. Maybe that's the challenge, is to just go with lightheartedness and call that good enough. Have a good night.